Hey, how y'all doing out there? I'm back with you with another video. Today I just want to talk about the ending of an era. Just the other day found out LG has officially shut down their mobile division, meaning they will not be making any more smartphones. Now, this is definitely unfortunate because LG has made some very quality phones. Now they lagged behind a little bit when it came to certain things, but overall they made a really great smartphones. Now I haven't liked all their smartphones over the years, but you see here these four that I have on the table that are probably my favorite LG devices overall. Now, the LG 4 was my first LG phone, and I did like that phone a lot. But I no longer have that device. I might get it just for nostalgia reasons. But that was my first LG phone, and I really enjoyed it. It was very nice. I didn't have any issues with it. Now I know back during that time with the LG G4, there was boot loop issues. Now I don't know if it was with the G3 because I never really owned the G3, but with the G4, I was told there was some serious boot loop issues. Now luckily I never had the boot loop issue, so I can't speak on that. But I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that had the older LGs that they had that problem with. But after the LG G4, I went to the V series. Now I wasn't the only reason why I went to the V series is because it was a bigger device, and I've always been a person that liked big devices. So when the LG V10 got announced, and I saw the specs on it, saw some videos, I'm like, I gotta get that device. I really like that device. I like the way it looked. As you can see, it had a very, very unique design. I mean, you had this rubberized back. Of course, this is something that a lot of people miss. Removable battery. I know there's a lot of people out there that miss being able to take their battery out and putting it back in their phone. However, now with the fast charging, the way they have the fast charging, even though this is still the fastest way to charge a device because you can just go to 0 to 100% in just a matter of seconds. But what you got these phones out here with 120 watt charging, 65 watt charging, 67 watt charging, it's not too big of a deal. But the only thing that made that good also is that you could keep your phone even longer. So if your battery went bad, you could just swap out that battery, get rid of it, put a brand new battery in it, and you're good to go. Now with the batteries being sealed in, which is what they started with the LG V30, where the battery was sealed in, couldn't do that. Even with the V20, you could still take the battery out. Now with this one, I like this design because it had this, metallic back, which was cool. And all you had to do is press on this button, and it easily came off. Here you go. You got expandable memory. You got a removable battery and all that stuff. So this one was cool. Now, let me get back to the V10 really quick. Now, like I said, I love the style, the rubberized back. The other thing is the stainless steel rails. So I'm gonna tell you this: this phone was built like a tank. I mean, seriously, like a tank. Cause I tried to mess up this phone, like slamming it just to see how durable it was. I could not scratch the screen. I couldn't break the screen. Nothing. So this was an absolute monster. It was a beast. Now let me turn on the display. Okay. 1 second. All right. Now with the display, don't get me wrong. It's a nice display. Let me turn it down a little bit. It's a nice display, but it was a LCD IPS display, Quad HD, but LCD. So the blacks are not going to be super black and all that. So it was a nice display, but Samsung's displays were better because at that time, I believe I had the Note 4 and the display was better, but this wasn't a bad display. Also, I did like the secondary display up here where you can see I have my name. And then also when you swiped it, you get access, to more toggles. Sorry, I haven't used this in a while. So you had access to more apps and toggles and things like that. So that was kind of cool. And you just go back to that. Also, you can see here you had dual selfie cameras. You had one regular and one wide, but the implementation of it was kind of bad. Like if this was a POLED, if this was a POLED display, this whole thing would have been super dark and you wouldn't be able to see anything. But with the IPS, you could kind of see the secondary display. Like you could see the light in the background. Like especially when I'm watching movies, I could see that. I could see the cameras and the cutout and all that. So I didn't like that. I think they could have just did a better job when it comes to implementing the display a little bit better. I just wish they had used a POLED display. Now they had POLED technology because they were putting it in their TVs, but for some reason they decided not to put it on their device at this time. So this was I love this device. Now also the speaker on there was one down-firing speaker, and it was just okay. It just, to me, it really didn't get loud enough for me. And also, of course, you had the headphone jack with the 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC. Now the thing that turned me off to this phone pretty quickly is because every time I used the hi-fi quad DAC, the battery would drain so quickly. I mean, really, really fast. So I don't know what it was. I don't know what the issue was that caused that, but a lot of times I would go to the gym and I want to listen to that hi-fi quad DAC, you know, that sound, but then at the same time it would just drain the battery so quickly. So that really turned me off. So I kind of didn't use it as much as I was using it because it just drained the battery too much, and I really wanted to enjoy the hi-fi quad DAC, but I couldn't. Now with the V20, this was also a nice device, but I wish they had stayed with the stainless steel rails, the rubberized back. I kind of like that better, honestly. But LG changed again with the way their phone looked. They went, now this one had I forgot to mention with the V10, you had the single camera setup with the laser autofocus, you know, and the flash, and then also you had the power button built into the fingerprint sensor, and then you had your up and down volume up and down rockers back in the back as well, which, you know, it was okay, but that took some getting used to. All right, now with the V20, of course, you had the metallic back. You had the two cameras in the back now. So with this one, you only had the one camera, but you had the two cameras in the front. Then with this one, they went down to one camera in the front and two in the back. And of course, you got your fingerprint sensor, but this one, they moved the volume rockers on the left side. Of course, you still had your, you know, headphone jack, your 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC. But this one, they finally fixed the issue with the quad DAC and the battery drainage, because now when I used the quad DAC, it wasn't draining the battery. So that was a good improvement. Also, I forgot to mention, with both of these devices, let me show you something real quick. All right. All right. Now, this also had a quad DAC, a quad HD resolution, but it was still IPS LCD. But this was considerably brighter than the V10, as you can see. Even though I turned down the brightness, but this was still considerably brighter. All right. All right. So with this one, let me show you something that I loved about this phone. Whoops. Sorry, I went to the camera. Oh boy. All right. Where is it? Okay, I got to slide up a little bit. Hold up. Okay. You see this right here? IR Blaster, something that LG was one of the pioneers with the IR Blaster. See up here, you got TV, cable box, audio, air conditioner, projector, and universal remote. So this was already built into the phone. I love that, okay? The V20 also had the IR Blaster. All of a sudden, with the V30, they took away the IR Blaster, which I just didn't understand, honestly. I just didn't understand that. Why would you take away universal remote control? It was very convenient. It was really nice to have. I don't know why they did that. But both of these had the IR Blaster in them. Then with the V30, they took it away. Now, pretty much everything is the same. You had USB on here, USB Type-C. That's when they changed the USB Type-C. Now, with the V30, now, all of these phones took good photos. This one actually was the best with taking photos. that I've ever had. This was my best favorite. I mean, not best built. This was the best built phone, but just the way this looked and felt, it was lighter than these two, but no always on display on either one of those devices. This is when they put the always on display on here. You can see how bright it is. Now I'm gonna and all these, neither one of these had face unlock. You had face unlock on this. Look at this Quad HD POLED display. Finally, they gave it POLED, and it made a huge difference as far as how beautiful this looked. This is by far, for me, the best looking display on all the V series devices because it's the only one that has the POLED display. Now with the V60, they put a 1080p display on there, which I don't understand. I know some people, don't care, it don't matter to them, but it matters to me, especially when you're going to charge $900 for a device. It should have the best display on it as possible. Now, I don't mind, having the option of taking it down to full HD, but at least give me the option to use Quad HD display. Give me the option of full HD and Quad HD. If I don't want to use the Quad HD, I don't have to, but give me the option. So this by far has the best display out of all these devices. All right. And this was my favorite LG phone until the V60 by far. I didn't like the G8X. I didn't like the G40. I did have the G8 for a little while, but that phone was too small and too narrow. Even though I did like that one, the LG G8, that was kind of a cool phone, but it was too small, too narrow for me. And also the LG G50, I didn't have that. So I didn't like the LG G40, the LG V40 and the LG G8X. I didn't like either one of those devices. And I did not have the LG V50. So this was my favorite LG device by far. You see those thin bezels at the top and the bottom. Thin bezels on the side, implemented very well. Very nice build quality, Gorilla Glass. Takes awesome pictures. I've taken so many pictures with this phone when I was on vacation, and boy, I'm telling you, they look professional. LG put some great cameras in this device. You had your wide angle lens, you had your pro video mode, you had, that enhanced microphones and all that stuff on here. This was by far my favorite LG phone. I still love this phone. Of course, you still had the headphone jack. You had the expandable memory. All of these have expandable memory. I love that. But this one, you got an IP68 water and dust resistance. On this one also, I believe you have wireless charging. You didn't have any wireless charging on either one of these. You have face unlock. The fingerprint sensor worked really well. I just didn't have any issues with this phone except for one problem. Well, two problems. No IR blaster, which I hated that they removed. And also that one downfiring speaker just wasn't good. It just wasn't. It was just pitiful. Really, really pitiful. All right. So you got, now let me say this really quick. Let me go back to the V20. Now you take a look at this. Look at the bottom. See where it has this big black here thing, LG? Like, I didn't like the way they did this. Like, you have this. Why didn't you just bring the screen all the way down to this instead of putting this here? That made no sense. That kind of ruined the display experience for me. And then, as you can see here at the top, you got your one camera, and then you got your secondary display there. Which, that wasn't, but I wish they kind of implemented that a little bit better. Put it underneath the glass, or if it was a POLED display, see how you see the light behind it, and you could, now you really see the separation from the camera and that. So it just wasn't implemented very well, but LG could have did a better job when it came to the display. See, with the V10, they brought it all the way down. Of course, they had the secondary display on this one, but at least at the bottom, they brought it all the way down. So I'm not sure why they did that. Now, with the LG V60, my favorite LG phone to date, but I am going to get my hands on that LG Wing because I do want that because it's so unique. Even though they've shut down their division, I still want that device, and I'm going to get that device eventually. Okay, because it's just so unique. I gotta have that in my collection. All right, the way they implemented these bezels, how these bezels are so big on the side, and not on the top or the bottom, but just on the sides. And then that stupid notch, like the way they did it with the LG V30, the display is implemented so much better. You don't even really see the side bezels on the LG V30, and this has a Quad HD display. So I didn't mind the thin bezel at the top or bottom, but just look at the display overall. The screen to body ratio is just better on the V30. All right. Now I really didn't do this video to do a phone comparison, but I just wanted to give you a little history of LG phones that I've had in the past. I was mostly a fan of the LG of the V series of flagship phones. I was a V guy. The LG phones was, the regular ones, they were okay, but they weren't big enough, and I kind of got it like a big phone. So like I said, I had the LG G4. That was my first. I didn't care for the design of the LG G5, so I skipped that one. The LG G6, I don't even recall what that looks like. The G7, I didn't have that. So after the G4, actually, I just went right to the V series. And the only phone that I tested again from the G series was the G8. And that phone was just too small, too narrow. But it was a beast of a phone. So I said this to say all this. LG really made some really nice quality products over the years. It's really sad and unfortunate that they had to shut down their mobile division due to the fact that they were losing billions of dollars. And a lot of that's their fault. Their marketing was terrible. They didn't advertise nowhere near enough. They were very innovative, which was very good. But you've got to let people know that you're out there and that you and show them why they should purchase your product. They just didn't do. The marketing was just terrible. And I don't understand that, and people have mentioned that over the years, even on the YouTube channel, about how poorly the marketing was, and they never did anything about it, which is just sad. It's really sad. So farewell to LG. It's a shame nobody bought the company and picked up, the torch and just kept on driving it. We may never see a headphone jack again on a flagship device. They were the last ones that held out. And now you may never get it again on a premium device at all. You get on a mid-tier and a budget, but you may never, ever see it again on a flagship device. So it's unfortunate. It's sad that LG, had to shut down their mobile division. It's a shame that people out there that just purchased an LG phone, and now you hear the news that they're no longer in business of making smartphones, which means you're not going to get any more software support. But if you have the latest LG device, you're going to get an Android 11, but you might not get anything after that. So it's just unfortunate. So rest in peace, LG. You made some really good quality products. Like I said, you were lagging behind a little bit, when it came to certain things. But overall, you made really good, high quality products over the years. And as you can see here, I really liked each and every one of these devices. I've had issues with all of them, but not major issues, but just things that I like and don't like, which is with every phone. But the LG V30 was definitely my favorite, period, until I got the V60. And as you can see, it's the biggest device on this table by far. The biggest, the widest, but the V30 still has the best display because it has a Quad HD display. All right, a POLED Quad HD display. This is only 1080p, but it does have a nice display. But this does have the best speakers by far. Best speakers, easily. Kill all these. These are all single fire speakers. This has the dual stereo speakers, and they are boss status. And this thing runs like a champ. Nice and smooth, nice and fast. All right, so thank you for taking the time to view this content. I ain't mean for it to be this long, but like I said, sometimes when you get to talking about tech and certain things, you just get caught up, and before you know it, you done talk for a while. But I do thank you for your patience. So long to LG. I really enjoyed the experience, and I hope someday you come back, because competition is good. With LG leaving the smartphone scene, now Apple and Samsung are really going to explode, and it takes away options from people. You know, competition is good, but when you have less, now Samsung is and Apple's going to totally dominate, you know, the cell phone, you know, division, you know, cell phone game in this country. Now I'm just talking about this country because with outside of this country, you got Xiaomi, you got Huawei, they holding their own against Samsung. Now OnePlus, they're excellent quality product too, but they don't advertise. You know, I don't see any marketing on their devices, even though you can get them from T-Mobile now, but they need to get with AT&T, they need to get Verizon, and they need to start marketing their devices more. If not, they're going to end up like LG. They're going to start losing a lot of money. They're going to go out of business. So, all right. Thank you for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. We're over 900 subscribers in, y'all. Getting close to that 1,000. And I'll be giving away one of my smart devices. Once we get to 950, I will show you what device I'm giving away to that lucky someone that will be picked at random. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoy this content, and hit that notification bell icon so you can be alerted when I upload a video. Thank you very much. Hope you guys are staying safe. Take care and peace.